Are you looking for somewhere where you can live a simple, comfortable lifestyle on a modest budget? Perhaps somewhere you can live much better than you do right now. More than half of all retired adults currently depend on Social Security as their only form of income. But I probably don't have to tell you that the average Social Security check these days won't get you very far, especially if you're in the United States. And that's why so many people are leaving. More than 450,000 Americans currently receive Social Security benefits abroad, and you can be one of them. If you're planning on retiring on Social Security alone, then this video is for you. These are places where you can realistically live on $1,000 or $2,000 per month. They are generally considered safe, they have good health care, and they also have retirement visas that are easy and affordable to get. If you're dreaming of a better life abroad where your money will go farther, then I'm here to offer you some practical advice to help make that dream a reality. I'll be ranking 10 countries by the cost of their retirement visas as well as their average cost of living, leaving the cheapest places for last. In 10th place, the tropical archipelago of Indonesia is rated as one of the best retirement destinations in the world, with more than 350,000 expats living there. From the bustling metropolis of Jakarta to the serene rice paddies of Bali, Indonesia presents a diverse selection of places to live out your golden years. Now, one of the reasons why Indonesia is such a popular retirement destination is because of its KITAS retirement visa, which you can qualify to stay from 1 to 5 years. Now, the catch for this visa is that although the cost of living in Indonesia is low, less than $1,000 per month, you have to show at least $3,000 per month to qualify for this program. So if you're living on Social Security, which right now the average check is only $1,900 per month, then this one might be a little bit out of reach for you. But if so, don't worry, because we have a lot more amazing places to cover in this video. There's also a new second home visa in Indo that's been getting a lot of buzz in the press because it allows up to 10 years to stay there. But this has an even higher income threshold where they want you to show upwards of 2 billion Indonesian rupees, which comes out to around 125,000 US dollars. But if you do have the cash to retire in Indonesia, once you get there, the cost of living is very low, and there are a lot of diverse places you can choose from to put down roots. The beautiful island of Bali is a top choice for many expats, digital nomads, and retirees alike. But if you're thinking about moving to Bali, then I definitely recommend getting out of the more crowded and congested areas like Kuta and Seminyak and exploring farther afield. Tabanan is one hidden gem for retirees to check out, where you can live near beautiful temples and scenery. The East Coast beaches of Padang Bai and the tranquil fishing villages of Ahmed are also underrated spots to check out. But throughout Indonesia, you have some 17,000 islands to choose from in addition to Bali, so you definitely have a lot of options. Now, although Indonesia is attractive for its low cost of living, it also has a lot of other features. The climate is also a big draw. You've got a warm climate year-round and also very friendly and welcoming locals. Indonesia also has a high-quality healthcare system with English-speaking doctors in most major hospitals. To living in Indonesia, however, is that it's spread over such a vast area that there's not a lot of consistency when it comes to those healthcare services and also the infrastructure. So if you're living in a more developed area, that's more reliable. But if you want to live in a more rural, remote place, then you might have to travel to get medical care or to get certain services. Indonesia also has a pretty intense rainy season that lasts from October to March, and there's also a language barrier, especially when you get outside of the more developed areas around Bali and throughout the island chain. Bahasa Indonesia is the official language, so it would definitely be a good idea to brush up on your language skills. For some people, it can also be a challenge to adapt to the different culture and religious differences in Indonesia, which is primarily a Muslim country. Argentina is the world's 8th largest country, bigger than Texas and Mexico combined. Famous for soccer, tango, and wine, Argentina is also one of the world's largest exporters of beef. From the cosmopolitan streets of Buenos Aires to the foothills of the Andes Mountains, Argentina is for city and nature lovers alike. At least 60,000 expats call Argentina home, with some 7 million people of European descent having immigrated there over the years. So it's quite a mix of international and regional cultures which really blend together to give Argentina the culture that it's known for. If you're interested in the arts, in food, in nature, outdoor activities, dancing, museums, tango, Argentina has it all, especially in the cosmopolitan city of Buenos Aires. It also has a low cost of living, up to 60% lower than the United States, with housing prices up to 80% lower. Now, when I visited Argentina in 2018, I spent around $2,000 for my month there. My rent was more expensive because I was staying there on a short-term rental, but if you're moving there long-term, you could definitely get your housing price down and keep that budget under $1,000 per month. And I remember going out to eat there rarely cost me more than $8 to $10, maybe $15, but you can get a smaller meal like breakfast or lunch for just $4 or $5. An upside to living in Argentina, besides the food and all the culture, is the healthcare, which is actually quite modern and affordable, probably a fraction of the cost of what you're used to paying. And Argentina also has a very straightforward rentista visa that you can qualify for with $2,000 in monthly income. This is also a path to citizenship if you'd like to live there forever. While Argentina certainly has a lot to offer, it also has some challenges, as anywhere does. Inflation, political stability. These are some of the concerns for living in Argentina, although if you are coming to the country with a foreign currency like dollars, euro, or pounds, then that inflation rate could actually work in your favor when it comes to calculating your cost of living. But in general, it's been very destabilizing for the country and has also resulted in some extra crime and just overall unrest due to the challenging economic conditions for the locals. Even though safety and security can be a concern in certain cities and certain neighborhoods, Argentina as a whole was ranked in the top 3 safest countries in Latin America, so don't let that hold you back. Argentina is also a place that you'd want to learn Spanish if you were to move there, as English is not widely spoken. And it's also a place known for having a bit slow bureaucratic processes, but then again, which country doesn't? Belize. Up in Central America, Belize is a tropical paradise bordered by the Caribbean Sea to the east and the dense jungle to the west. Once the center of the Mayan Empire, you can still visit ancient ruins there today. The country is also known for its English-speaking population, stunning natural preserves, and the world's second largest barrier reef. As a whole, Belize offers an idyllic setting if you're seeking a tranquil lifestyle. If retiring early is an option for you, then definitely consider Belize, where you can apply for their Qualified Retired Persons program as young as 40 years old with $2,000 in monthly income. If you qualify, then you can get a range of different import tax exemptions on your car, on your boat, on your airplane, if you want to bring that in, and also on other household goods. And with this visa, income from abroad is tax exempt. One of the upsides to living in Belize, besides the beautiful scenery, the lovely people, and the nice climate, is the cost of living, where rent prices can be up to 80% lower than the United States. So we're looking at getting a studio or an efficiency apartment for anywhere from $200 to $300 per month. A 1-bedroom could run you $500 or $600 per month, or you can get a nicer apartment in a nicer area for $800 to $1,000 per month. So that's well within your $2,000 monthly income in that retiree program. Now, if you're looking to invest in real estate abroad, then Belize has long been a very popular option, where one blogger I read said that prices there still remind him of the United States back in the 1990s. So you can get a starter home for $75,000, $85,000, really up to $200,000 will give you a lot of options to invest in real estate in Belize. You can also build if you'd like from $30 to $60 per square foot, or you can buy something outright, and then property taxes are quite low, around $100 per year. The healthcare system in Belize is basic but adequate. So you've got good healthcare in some of the bigger cities, more developed regions, but this can be a lot different in different areas of the country. From some reports, people have said that for really complex procedures, it would be better to go north to Mexico, which has a great medical tourism economy, or up to the US or Canada. So it really depends on the type of care that you need. Something a lot of people appreciate though is how open and available the pharmacies are in Belize, where you can get a lot of prescription drugs there without necessarily a prescription. Alternative and herbal therapies are also available if you're into that. And then another big pro is definitely the English-speaking population, if English is your first language, especially compared to the rest of Latin America, where in many cases it helps to learn Spanish. On the downside, the infrastructure in Belize can change a lot throughout the country, especially in the more underdeveloped areas when it comes to roads and public services. So that's something to consider, as well as safety and crime. Although Belize is generally a safe country, every country is at risk for some type of crime, so you just want to use normal precautions there. And if a hot, humid, tropical climate doesn't work for you, then Belize probably won't either, because you're definitely going to find some hot weather there year-round. You already know that learning the local language can help you communicate better and also fit in better with foreign cultures. But did you know that it can make you smarter? Learning a second language can improve your memory and brain skills. It's also been shown to delay the onset of Alzheimer's and dementia. Whether you're preparing for a trip abroad or just want to pick up a new hobby, get a head start on your language skills today with Rosetta Stone. Rosetta Stone is the best way to learn another language in a way that feels comfortable and natural. What I love about Rosetta Stone is that it works for all different learning styles, whether you like to learn through reading, writing, speaking, or listening. You get to see written words alongside real-world images while listening to native speakers and their accents.
Garçon.
Garçon. It's something you can do while at home or on the go with the Rosetta Stone app and audio companion that come in a lot of different topics, from travel to food, so you can learn more about the culture while learning the language. They even have a voice recognition tool that's built directly into the app, so you can nail your accent, and the best part about it is that you get instant feedback, so you know if you're pronouncing something correctly or not. You know, when I first started traveling internationally to places like Italy and Mexico, I didn't speak a word of the language, and everyone said I would just naturally pick it up as I went along, but it really didn't work that way for me. I needed more structure. And so if you're like me and you want to be able to prepare a little bit at home before getting out into those real life situations, then try Rosetta Stone today. You can use the link below this video to get 60% off a lifetime subscription. That's just $149 for lifetime access to 25 different languages. And thanks again to Rosetta Stone for partnering with me on this video. Thailand. A gem of Southeast Asia, Thailand is known as the land of smiles for its warm climate, friendly locals, and laid-back lifestyle. From the bustling city of Bangkok to the tranquil beaches of Phuket and Koh Samui, you can live anywhere in Thailand for less than $1,000 per month. With a cost of living less than half of the United States, Thailand is definitely somewhere to consider. The healthcare system there is top-notch. Thailand has a world-renowned reputation for having modern healthcare facilities. It's a big magnet for medical tourism, and it's a place where you can get a dental cleaning for like $10 or $20. Of course, the bigger cities are going to have the more modern facilities, but overall, Thailand ranks high for healthcare. It's also a place to really celebrate the culture and the food. You've got a lot of different festivals and events throughout the year, and then also year-round, you've got the daytime outdoor markets, you've got the night markets, the street food. So if you're a foodie and you love culture, then definitely consider Thailand. Now, the language barrier can definitely be significant in Thailand, as it's not a country where English is widely spoken, and Thai is kind of a hard language to learn, but it is possible. I definitely have some friends who have become fluent in Thai, so if you're thinking of moving there, then definitely invest some time in learning the local language. Adapting to the sweltering hot climate in Thailand can also take some adjustment, especially if you're used to more temperate conditions. Bangkok can be really hot, as well as a lot of the beach towns, but you can find a little bit cooler climates if you go inland, maybe up into the mountains a bit. Overall, Thailand is a very peaceful place, but it also has had a little bit of political instability and unrest, so also something to consider. And then also you've got a lot of traffic congestion, pollution, and the air quality can also take a hit at certain times of the year, especially during the burning seasons. Uruguay. If Costa Rica is the Switzerland of Central America, then Uruguay is the Switzerland of South America, one of the more stable and well-developed countries in the region. Nestled between Argentina and Brazil, Uruguay stands out as a progressive haven in South America, offering retirees a stable and welcoming environment. Known for its beautiful beaches, lush interior, and cosmopolitan cities like Montevideo, Uruguay combines the charm of old Europe with the warmth and hospitality of South America. If you're someone who places a high value on personal freedom, privacy, and civil liberties, then Uruguay could be a good place for you. This is a country that consistently ranks high when it comes to democracy and political stability, according to entities like The Economist and the World Bank. The cost of living is quite reasonable there as well, although it's not the cheapest country in South America, but you can still get your cost of living below $1,000 per month, up to around $1,700 to $2,000 per month. Uruguay's healthcare system is actually one of the best in Latin America and also the world, actually, with both private and public options available. You can get high quality care at a fraction of the cost of the United States. And as a retiree there, you have the option to opt into the public healthcare system, or you can also go for private insurance, which could run you around $100 per month. English is increasingly spoken there, especially in the business districts and the tourist areas, but this is another country on this list that you definitely want to learn the local language, which is Spanish. Uruguay as a country is a pretty straight shooter, and it also has a very straightforward residency process that you can qualify for with a nominal amount of monthly income, usually recommended around $1,500 per month, and their residency visa is also a path to citizenship. But this isn't one of those just, golden visas, golden passports where you can buy citizenship and then leave. In the case of getting residency in Uruguay, they're going to want to see that you actually live there, and they will check your physical presence if you do ultimately decide to apply to be a citizen. On the downsides, as I mentioned, it's not the cheapest country to live in Latin America, especially when you compare it to places like Colombia, Argentina, Bolivia, Ecuador, but you still can get a moderate cost of living there. Although the tax system could be a concern for you, as Uruguay does tax worldwide income after a certain period of residency. Paraguay. Often described as the heart of South America, Paraguay is a lesser-known retirement destination with a lot to offer if you're looking for a warm climate with lots of nature and a slower pace of life. Paraguay is one of the most affordable countries to live in South America, with an average cost of living of up to 70% lower than the United States. So if you're really looking for a place where you can stretch that Social Security check, then take a closer look at Paraguay. A lot of people really like it. I mean, just listen to what one of my relocation clients, Dave, had to say about it.
Could you share with us, Dave, approximately in the first month that you've been there, or what do you think will be your average monthly cost of living?
In American money, you're looking at, I'm paying 500 US a month for a 2-bedroom, fully furnished apartment, and it's new. It's relatively new. It's got everything in it, and got pool access. I think if you do the research, you can find that price range, no problem. And as far as when you're buying stuff, like you go in the grocery store, it's dirt cheap. It's really cheap. If you're buying American products, stuff that you really want, if you want Heinz ketchup and you want the Nature Valley granola bars, all that stuff, you're going to pay the same as back home, if not more. But if you get the local ketchup, it's a fraction. Instead of paying $5 a bottle, you're probably paying $1.50 a bottle. So, that type of stuff. The vegetables are much cheaper. The meat is really cheap here. I went out to a place, I just had a steak dinner, and it was probably $10, and I had a beer with that, so, again, you just can't go wrong there. If you want to go tight on the budget, absolutely. My pension's 1,800 Canadian a month, and I've got money left over at the end of the month. Yeah, so it's definitely an opportunity for people if that's what they want to do, stay within a tight budget. And the quality of living here is it's beyond my expectations. I was expecting less, but they have everything here. The malls here are absolutely beautiful. The shopping, the restaurants you'll want for nothing. It's incredible the fine dining that and beautiful places sitting outside all the time. You're lots of things here that you're well covered, and the biggest obstacle is going to be the language. That's it.
Paraguay also has a straightforward path to residency that can be completed and processed in just a few months. One of the ways to qualify is by making a deposit in a local bank account, which is equivalent to 35 local minimum wages. Right now, that's about 5,000 US dollars. And while there's no minimum income requirement here, it is recommended to show at least $1,000 in monthly income. Paraguay also has a territorial tax system, which means that income generated from outside of the country is tax-free, and they have a 10% flat tax for local tax residents. Paraguay also makes a great base for exploring different countries around the region, like Argentina, Brazil, and Bolivia, and you can get on a path to citizenship there after 3 years. There are some challenges, of course. For one, the public healthcare system is known to be underfunded and also underdeveloped, so a lot of people opt for private insurance, which you can get for around $100 per month. The infrastructure can also be lacking, especially outside of the major cities. And like many countries in the area, English is not widely spoken, so you'd want to learn Spanish here. But despite any of the downsides to living in Paraguay, everyone I've talked to really loves living there. Now, although it is not a huge expat community, it's a very tight-knit one from what I can tell, kind of like a big family, because Paraguay is a bit off the radar. It's not the most popular retirement destination in the world like Portugal or Mexico, so there aren't as many foreigners living there, but the people who do live there really like it, and they do have a very tight-knit community. If you're looking for a simple, comfortable life on a budget, then the Philippines should definitely be on your list. This is a country with an average cost of living of around $500 to $600 per month, and I've definitely seen people on YouTube talking about how they retired in the Philippines for as little as $300 or $400 per month. Whether you're looking for city life in Manila, country life out in the provinces, or island life on one of the country's nearly 8,000 islands, the Philippines has it all. Beyond the rock bottom cost of living in the Philippines, English is an official language. So this is one of the places that you can go without having to learn another language. The healthcare system has some pretty modern facilities with a lot of English-speaking doctors that were trained abroad. But for me, the big draw of living in the Philippines is really the people. I've said this before in other videos, but I genuinely think that the Philippine people are some of the nicest, friendliest, most genuine in the world. I mean, not just being nice to you because they want something or because you're a tourist or being fake nice, but like a real friendship that I felt with the people there. So if all of this sounds good to you, then check out the Philippines SRRV visa, the special retirement visa, which was completely tailored to retirees and is a path to permanent residency. This visa comes with minimal requirements and also a lot of local perks like local discounts and tax exemptions. And there are a few different categories that you can qualify under. It has one of the lowest income thresholds in the world at $800 per month for a single person, or up to $1,000 per month for a couple. But there's also another category if you have some long-term terminal health issues where you might need to show $1,500 per month. They even have special categories for diplomats and retired military, so definitely check the website. I'll link to everything down below and see what you qualify for. Another option that a lot of retirees consider is the 13A marriage visa. So if you're looking to get hitched, then look that one up. But really the SRRV is very popular and it also offers a lot of benefits. You get those customs and duties exemptions, and it's infinite. It's a permanent residency program. For this visa, there's also a $10,000 to $20,000 deposit depending on your pension situation, but overall, the $800 to $1,000 or $1,500 minimum income requirement is pretty good. And then once you move to the Philippines, you can also take advantage of that lower cost of living. Malta. Located in the Mediterranean Sea between Tunisia, Libya, and Sicily, Malta is one of Europe's smallest countries, made up of 2 islands, Malta and Gozo. Evidence of human civilization here dates back to at least 5,000 BC. You can even visit ruins there that are older than the Giza pyramids. Due to its prime location, Malta is a really interesting mix of cultures. You've got influences from the Middle East, Africa, Italy, the United Kingdom, and the language is also a reflection of that. Although English is an official language in Malta, Maltese is actually a combination of languages: Arabic, French, Italian, English. So quite an interesting place. If you envision your retirement years living on an island surrounded by blue water, then Malta could be for you. This is a place that's perfect if you like the sunshine and the outdoors. You've got sun year-round, a mild climate year-round. But on the other hand, there's also ways to escape from the sun, as Malta has a really strong pub culture, gambling and gaming culture, nightlife. So if you need to escape that sun, you know where to go. When it comes to where to live, Valletta is a really popular place. It's a beautiful city. It was the European capital of culture, and it's also one of the first planned cities in Europe. But a really popular spot is along the seafront promenade through St. Julian's and Sliema. You've got lots of restaurants, boutique hotels, apartment complexes. It's very walkable. It has good public transportation, but then you can also go a bit farther afield where it's less populated. You can get lower rent prices, or you could be really adventurous and head over to the other island of Gozo. The healthcare system in Malta is top-notch, ranking among the top 20 in the world. And fun fact, Malta actually has one of the oldest public healthcare systems in Europe, dating back to the 1300s. But of course, you're gonna find a lot more modern facilities today, especially St. James Hospital, which is the largest private hospital in the country. And to qualify for Malta's retirement program, you do need to hold private insurance. So you can look up quotes with local or international companies. Some local companies include La Ferla, Bupa, and Mapfre. English is an official language in Malta, so you won't have any language barriers there. Malta also has one of the largest expat populations, especially as a percent of the local population. So really easy to meet people and make new friends. Malta is one of those countries that really looks to attract foreigners of all types: business people, investors, digital nomads, and retirees. And under the Malta retirement program, there's actually no minimum age as long as you meet that income requirement. There's not even a specific number for the income requirement. You just have to show that 75% of your income comes from passive income or a pension. So if you are going to be living exclusively on Social Security, or at least 75%, then this could be a good option for you. But if most of your income is coming from other investments, cash flow, properties, then this might not be the program for you. A downside to this program is that foreign pensions that are brought into the country are taxed at 15%, but there's a lot set in place there to prevent you from getting double taxed on that income. Also, if you're a nature person, you might like the sunshine, but if you're looking for lots of trees, forests, lakes, mountains, then Malta is not for you. I mean, this is a limestone island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. So one of the things that it is lacking there is nature. And I personally felt that when I was staying there quite a few years ago. The food scenario also, it's not the best place for farmers markets and getting that, farm to table, fresh local produce. Malta is actually not food independent. So a lot of food is brought into the country, although you can get a lot of great Maltese food there and Italian food as well. There will be no shortage of pizza and pasta and rabbit for you in Malta. Another thing to keep in mind is that while it does have that mild climate year-round, not all of the buildings have good insulation. So I remember when I was there in the winter, it was actually colder inside of my apartment than it was outside, and I was just working with the heat on, and I even had gloves on because there's these stone buildings. So that could be something to keep in mind. Make sure you have good insulation there, good climate control. Also, living in places like Valletta, and it can be very loud. The streets echo a lot. You're definitely going to hear your neighbors. So if you don't like living in close quarters, maybe you want to try a less populated part of the country. But overall, Malta has a great quality of life. People really love it. It's just not the cheapest place on this list. I mean, there's no minimum income requirement for that retirement program, but the cost of living is going to be definitely higher than places like Paraguay or Argentina or the Philippines. However, still pretty moderate, about 25% lower than the United States. Nestled in the heart of the Balkan Peninsula, Albania is a hidden gem that offers a Mediterranean lifestyle at a fraction of the cost of more popular European destinations. From the stunning Adriatic coastline to its rugged mountains and historic cities, Albania is a picturesque and diverse place for anyone looking for adventure, culture, and relaxation. What makes Albania so attractive is that it hasn't suffered from the same amount of over-tourism that you've seen in a lot of parts of Western Europe and even through the Balkans, Croatia, Montenegro. It also has an extremely low cost of living that's among the lowest in Europe, and a very straightforward path to residency if you even need it. Albania is another country like Malta that really welcomes foreigners, and they have visa-free travel or visa on arrival for upwards of 80 or 90 different countries. So depending on where you're from, you might actually be able to stay in Albania for up to 365 days with just a passport. So this gives you an opportunity to do a bit of an extended exploratory trip there before you go through applying for residency. And with the residency permit, the minimum income is only about €1,000 per month. So it's really straightforward, and it also gives you a path to permanent residency and citizenship. Everything in Albania is probably at a slightly lower cost than what you're used to when it comes from everyday purchases to monthly utilities and services, and rent, of course. You can rent a room or a studio from $100 per month up to about $1,000 for something in a nicer area, a bigger property. Now, the healthcare system in Albania is still developing, but it does offer services at a very low cost. And something interesting I found through a study from the World Health Organization is that it said that up to 60% of Albanian citizens actually pay out of pocket for healthcare at a cost of less than $500 per year. So while it's not as developed as other countries in Europe, it's definitely affordable and you can get a lot of basic services there. Now, while the healthcare system is affordable, it is not as developed as other places, so you might want to consider traveling for certain procedures. The infrastructure also continues to develop in Albania, so if you're in the more rural areas, you won't have as reliable infrastructure compared to the cities, Tirana, Durrës, but if you stay near those metropolitan areas, it's going to be more consistent. Also, in Albania, they speak Albanian, so there will be a language barrier there as English is not widely spoken, but that is a perfect opportunity for you to brush up on your Albanian. Regardless, there is a strong expat population in Albania, so it's one of those places that it is easy to make friends from other countries, and despite, some of the pros and cons, people seem to really love living there.
What were some of the countries that you looked at moving to?
I don't know how I stumbled upon Albania, but I did. And there were just no downsides. The more I looked, the more I loved it. It's beautiful. It was affordable. It's on the water, which is another aspect that I really wanted. I actually live on a lake, not on the seaside, but it's water. And it just ticked all the boxes. So I had never been here, but it looked good to me. And it's recommended you do an exploratory trip, but I couldn't afford to do that. So I'm just going to go.
Jumping in with both feet.
Worst case scenario, my visa's good for 9 and my passport's good for 90 days. I'll just pick another country was my thinking. So luckily I like it here.
In first place, we have Peru. From the Amazon rainforest to the Andes Mountains and coastal plains, Peru has it all. Known for its archaeological treasures such as Machu Picchu and its culinary excellence, Peru is an affordable place to retire with some of the most spectacular scenery, culture, and history in the world. I really love Peru. It has such a special energy there. The country is so huge, it's so diverse. You've got so many different climates, different types of people, amazing food, and also just such a deep, rich history there. But it's also very affordable. You can eat a meal out in Peru for as low as $4. A cell phone plan might cost you $10 per month, and monthly utilities can run around $50. You can find a monthly efficiency or studio from $175 to $250 per month, or even $500 would go a really long way in Peru. Here's a house for rent online for $350 per month. Peru's healthcare system is decent with good facilities in cities like Lima, where a doctor's appointment could run you as low as $35. Overall, it's the second cheapest country in Latin America, and living here is more affordable than 89% of the countries in the world. So you can really save a lot and have a very comfortable lifestyle. Another thing to love about Peru is that there's a lot of different climates. So unlike other parts of Central America, South America that can be really hot, in Peru you've got the rainforest, you have the beaches that really have kind of a California feel depending on where you are, and you also have the mountains, although the altitude can definitely be a problem and take some adjusting to. If you've never experienced altitude sickness before, you probably will in Peru. Peru's Rentista visa was specifically designed for foreign retirees with a low monthly income requirement of $1,000 per month. You can also apply for permanent residency there after a few years, but this is another country that wants to see that you're actually living there before they give you permanent residency. On the downside, the infrastructure in Peru varies a lot. I've been out in the countryside where there was no running water, no plumbing, outhouses. So, it really depends on where you live, but it shouldn't be a problem in most cases. And if you do go to Peru, then I definitely recommend taking one of the overnight buses and really exploring a lot of the countryside. Those bus rides can be just a few dollars, $10, $20, and the seats are so comfortable. I swear it's more comfortable than flying in business class or first class. So that is my favorite way to get around, but if you're going really far distances, then you might want to fly. Language barriers can also be a challenge. This is another country where you definitely want to learn Spanish if you move there, but overall, Peru offers a lot of value with so much to do and see and explore once you get there. Now you might be thinking, wait a second, there's definitely some countries missing from this list. Where's Panama? Where's Costa Rica? Where's Mexico, Ecuador? And you would be right. I covered all of those countries and more in this video of the top 10 best places to retire in the world. So watch that one next and I'll see you there.